People should read Johnson more. I don't know about the ratings. You know, I love Landor. A lot of people don't read Landor. When I did the thing with the jazz musicians, I did Landor's great two-line poem on love, on grief, on every human thing. Time sprinkles Lethe's water with his wing. That a wing can sprinkle as well as fly. On love, on grief, on every human thing. Time sprinkles Lethe's water with his wing. And, you know, he's telling you to put your teeth on your lip 3 times. You know, he's probably not even thinking about it, but it happens. On love, on grief, on every human thing. Time sprinkles Lethe's water with his wing. And then in the second line, doing water with his wing. It's really great writing.
Very touching.
As small as a poem can be, yeah, and it's a very, very moving poem. I think that the young poets, overrate all their contemporaries and everybody alive. I feel like I'm representing some old idea of the art when I recite Johnson and Landor to you. I meet quite gifted poets who really, if you ask them about older poetry, they'll say, oh, you mean like Lorene Niedecker and Marianne Moore and William Carlos Williams. The whole history of the thing. So I think that the present is overrated always. Certainly it is at the moment. Because it's evanescent. You know, it's not going to last that long. Elizabeth Bishop has already pretty much outlasted Vaughn Monroe. I bet a young person like you doesn't have any idea who Vaughn Monroe was. At one time in American popular culture, the 2 most important categories of entertainer were crooner and bandleader. Those were the 2 things to be. Crooner, bandleader. One person was both, very prominent as both. His name was Vaughn Monroe. He was born the same year as Elizabeth Bishop. And for a good part of their lives, if you asked anybody who's more famous, Vaughn Monroe or Elizabeth Bishop, they'd say, oh, Vaughn Monroe for sure. I dare say that right at this second, within a few miles of us, there are many hundreds of people who are thinking about Elizabeth Bishop. And probably you and I are the only 2 thinking about Vaughn Monroe, and you don't know diddly about him. It's very hard to say what makes anything any human being does survive. What did I get from my grandparents and my great-grandparents? What are my kids' grandparents going to know about me or care about that me and my generation have done? Most guesses at that are at least a little bit off. Often they're terrifically off. And yet, as an animal, as a species, we're entirely dependent on things that are transmitted from generation to generation. The technology that you and I are using right now is part of the human need to pass things on beyond any one lifetime. We developed song and poetry and dance and religion and storytelling and a whole host of things to keep things going. What are the best marriage customs? What are the best burial customs? What should you eat when? All of this, the animal is dependent upon it. The animal is a very ineffective animal, except for that ability to remember longer than its own lifetime. And yet to predict what, to use an internet word, what the content will be, it's very mysterious. And then we use these words like thing and immediately that we got from the dead. And only rarely do we begin to understand even a little about their insides and their history. That's life.